Now, I know some of you are reading the title and you're probably thinking to yourself, like, what is this dude on about? Modern Warfare 3 being like Black Ops 4? But let me explain. So as we already know, in Modern Warfare 3, your base health in multiplayer is going to be 150 HP. And there's only been one other COD game in the past that had that same amount of HP in multiplayer. And that was, of course, Black Ops 4. In Black Ops 4, you had 150 HP. And as you can see in the bottom left there, there's even like an HP bar. And you may be wondering why this is even relevant and why I'm even making a video on this in the first place. And that's because, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of concerned. See, me personally, I really enjoy Black Ops 4 and its TTK, but there is many players out there that actually did not like Black Ops 4 and still don't like Black Ops 4 and prefer that quicker TTK like we have in like Modern Warfare 2 and Vanguard. So not only could Modern Warfare 3 end up playing a lot like Black Ops 4, but I feel like it could end up being as divisive as Black Ops 4 is, because for those of you that don't know, Black Ops 4 to this day is still a pretty divisive game. It has a lot of people that love the game, but there's also a lot of players that are kind of like, the gunfights were a little too dragged out for me. For me personally, I'm not too picky. I could have it either way. I'm cool with the longer TTKs, but I'm also cool with the quicker TTK games like Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and Vanguard. All right, let's open up a reserve case. This is tradition at this point. Anytime we get on one of these Call of Duty games with supply drops, we have to open up one, and yeah, there's a reason that supply drops aren't in Call of Duty anymore. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the supply drops in Black Ops 4 weren't that bad. Like, the death effect, like the one that we just got, is pretty cool, and there's some cool skins and stuff, but like, if you're trying to get a weapon in this game, just forget it. Obviously, only time will tell, and we will have the beta coming up. So once that comes out and everybody gets their hands on the game, obviously, then we'll be able to know how this actually flows, and who knows, if it ended up being like too divisive and players hate it too much, who knows, maybe Sledgehammer will end up tweaking it a bit before the full game comes out. Call of Duty always kind of just had like a quicker TTK, like that's just how these games have always been. But I wonder in this game, maybe are they going to be like tweaking the weapons a bit to make it feel a bit closer to what we've had in recent games and not as long as Black Ops 4, or maybe it'll be like an in-between. And what does this mean for the carryover weapons? Because obviously in MW2 you have 100 HP, and then in MW3 we're going to have 150 HP, but the weapons from Modern Warfare 2 are tuned for that 100 HP pool. So are they gonna be like completely different in Modern Warfare 3 and not be like truly faithful carryovers? Like, are these weapons not just being lifted from MW2 and put into MW3? Like, are they gonna have to be retuned for MW3? Which in that case means that the weapons that we know as like for being good in MW2 might end up being actually like terrible in MW3 and vice versa. Obviously, it's all just speculation at this point, but I'm really interested to see not only how this game is gonna turn out, but also what the community's reception to it is going to be. The fact that they're even releasing a game where you have 150 HP in the multiplayer is like mind-blowing to me, because in recent games it seems like they're doing anything to appeal to like the least common denominator, and increasing the HP health pool is the exact opposite of that, because that actually incentivizes like longer gun battles, actual skillful gameplay where you have to aim, make sure your shots are hitting, and like stay engaged in those gunfights for a bit longer. Which also makes me wonder, are we going to see a lot of newer players end up bouncing off of this game? Like, are they going to find it to be too overwhelming to adjust to this new HP pool, and they're gonna end up just being like, nah, this isn't for me, and then hopping off of the game and maybe even going back to an older game like Vanguard or MW2 for the year? Not trying to be that guy, not trying to start like, you know, the battles between games, but this is a pretty important year for Call of Duty, because you gotta remember, XDefiant is right around the corner. So if these newbies are like, this isn't really for me, and then they hear their friends, they're talking about like, hey, I'm playing this new game called XDefiant, it's a lot of fun, then maybe those new players will end up hopping off of MW3 and then going to XDefiant instead. Again, I'm not trying to say that all this stuff will happen, I'm just saying it's a possibility if this 150 HP thing ends up backfiring, because as small of a change as it may seem, and as small of a thing as it may sound, especially if they end up like tuning it to feel more like a middle ground between something like MW2 and Black Ops 4 rather than being something exactly like Black Ops 4 where the gunfights last for like a very long time, those things still do matter, and they made a world of a difference during Black Ops 4's life cycle, because I can tell you there was a lot of people that I used to play with that ended up just kind of bouncing off of BO4's multiplayer and either sticking with zombies for the rest of the year, or just going back and playing like World War II or even like Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare for the rest of the year. Again, it's one of those things where we'll just kind of have to like sit back and wait and see, and it's not necessarily something that I'm like worried about or something that I'm not looking forward to, because I'm actually really excited to have another 150 HP Call of Duty multiplayer. I'm just curious to see what these community's reception is going to be to it. One thing I do know for sure though, outside of the multiplayer, the zombies is going to be really divisive this year. If you missed one of my previous videos talking about it, basically this year's zombies is going to be entirely different. It's going to be a mix of like Outbreak from Cold War and DMZ from MW2. You're going to have like only an hour to play each match, and then you have to like find these weapons and crates throughout the map, and you can either choose to use them in that match or you can save them and infill with them in the next game. it's gonna be really interesting to see what people's feedback are to the zombies mode. I have a feeling not many people are gonna like it, especially because it's not traditional round based. I feel like it's gonna be one of those more niche things where it'll have its fans, but I don't expect it to blow up too much, if I'm being honest, just from the sounds of things. I could be entirely wrong about that, and I want to be wrong about that. I'm just going based off of the facts and things that we've seen in the past. Truth be told, when it comes time for a new Call of Duty, I always want nothing but the absolute best for it. But that being said, when it comes to talking about it and what to expect, I mean, I have to be realistic and just go off of patterns that we've seen in the past. Regardless, I'm super excited for the game, and at this point, I just want to get my hands on it already. This outfit is literally insane. I've been using this one, you know, this one's pretty cool and all, and this looks more aligned with something that I'd use, but like, is a Terminator. Who knows, they might go all the way in making it like Black Ops 4 and bring back supply drops. I mean, they already got the item shop, so I mean, they might as well. I mean, the new bundles with the way it is and with the way the prices are increasing, I mean, it's the same thing. Am I saying I want them back? No, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. In all seriousness, I actually kind of like supply drops, though. I know that's really controversial for me to say, but I actually really like the supply drops, especially in like Infinite Warfare. The system they had there was really good. Same thing with Black Ops 4. It wasn't that bad. I feel like a nice middle ground is making everything unlockable through supply drops, but then also giving you a way to like actually legitimately unlock everything that is behind the supply drops in-game if you want to. That would be like a nice middle ground, but the money grubbing publishers would never go for that. But anyways, yeah, that's just my thoughts on all this. Now I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you guys think this game is gonna end up being like Black Ops 4? Do you think it's gonna end up being as divisive as Black Ops 4 is? Whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, as always, a massive shout out and thank you to all the patrons and channel members. Thank you to all of you in the low baller tier, and even bigger shout out and thank you to all of you in the big baller tier, Middle Asking, and Big Daddy Manny, and the biggest shout out and thank you to all of you in the G tier, Runner Vengeance, and Emlo Cheese Girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.